What if Elaine Thompson Herah and Coach Stephen Francis fooled us all? Welcome back to the channel, people. Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, thank you for making it Peter Lloyd World. Now go ahead, please hit that subscribe button so we can continue to grow. We're getting so close to 10,000 subs, and it's because of your kindness and support. Also, when you hit the subscribe button, please go in and hit the notification bell so you know when the next amazing video drops here on Peter Lloyd World. And we do that at least once a day, every day here on Peter Lloyd World. Also, please hit the like button. The algorithms on YouTube absolutely love that engagement. Plus, people, it's free to hit the like button, so hit the like button. So go ahead and hit that like button. And finally, please leave a comment. I would simply love to hear your thoughts on this conspiracy theory as to whether or not Elaine Thompson Herah and Coach Stephen Francis fooled us all. Are you ready? Yep! Good to go! As we have stated here on Peter Lloyd World repeatedly, almost ad nauseum, Elaine Thompson Herah has had the greatest season in recorded history in the women's sprints. Now, you all know what happened, right? She won the Olympic 100 meters in a Olympic record-breaking time of 10.61. She won the 200 meters in the second fastest 200 meter time ever recorded by a woman, 21.51. She went on to win the 100 meters in the second fastest recorded time in history in Eugene, Oregon at the Haywood Field at the Prefontaine Classic, running a phenomenal 10.54, just a hair's breadth away from breaking FloJo's what was once thought an unbreakable record. Now, I heard one of the most remarkable theories earlier today, and I decided I had to talk about this. The theory goes like this. Elaine Thompson Herah and Coach Stephen Francis, in a bid to confuse pundits and baffle those around, such as Shelley and Fraser Price, other top flight sprinters, the teams of other top flight female sprinters, and the coaches of other top flight sprinters, decided to falsify whether or not Elaine Thompson Herah was fit enough at the national trials. The theory is this. At the national trials in both the 100 and 200 meters, both of which she came third in, you're looking at the 200 meters now, instead of giving her all, herself and Coach Francis came up with a trick, so to speak, a theory of her doing just enough to get through to the Olympics, thereby giving Shelley and Fraser Price and onlookers a false sense of where she was in terms of her fitness and her health, and giving her the psychological edge, so that all the other athletes, everybody would be concentrating on Shelley and Fraser Price and not her, and therefore she would be able to strike at the Olympics, winning the double-double, defending her titles from Rio in 2016, and running these phenomenal times. But how feasible is this, really? After her failure at the National Olympic Trials here in Jamaica in the National Stadium, coming third in both 100 and 200 meters, she shocked everybody at the East Van Goulia Memorial, I hope that's correct, running 10.71 to beat the world's fastest then, Shelley and Fraser Price, and upset the apple cart. I mean, everyone was absolutely floored and shocked. I wasn't, actually. I really wasn't, to be honest. I know it's easy for me to say this now, but go back and check my earlier vlogs. You see, I really wasn't. We do know that Coach Stephen Francis had said a little before she ran that race that she was in the shape of her life. So the question we have to ask is, when was she in the shape of her life, Coach Stephen Francis? Was she in the shape of her life before the National Olympic Trials or right after? Or was she just getting to that point? Now, there's a theory that Coach Stephen Francis, who, as we know, is one of the greatest, if not the greatest, in terms of female sprint athletes, can be, let's say, deceptive in his, in his approach. I think he coaches not just the physical, but the psychological. He pushes his athletes. So let's look at this 100-meter at the national trials. What do you see in this race? Tell me what you're seeing. Fraser Price gets out really, really well. Shericka Jackson got out. It was terrible. Elaine Thompson, it was nowhere near her best start. Fraser Price was already up on the entire field by, let me say, 30 to 40 meters as she normally does. She would have been at least a meter and a half ahead of everybody else. And then everybody started to reel her in, including Elaine Thompson Herah. But Thompson just didn't seem to have enough in the gas tank. And looking at her race, I think she started to even slightly overextend. Look at it. See, she was overextending right to the end. Even her form was off a little bit. And Elaine Thompson, her form is normally perfect. The only issue that she ever really has is the start. And once she gets that start, it's almost impossible to catch her. And after I read that theory about her and Coach Francis, cooking up this amazing thing, this great deception, of lulling everyone into a false sense of confidence and into believing that she was not a threat, which gave her the opportunity at the Olympics to really shine. I looked back at this when she won the 100 meters at the Tokyo 2020 Olympics in fine style, as you can see here. And then I remembered this.
Well, let's say that my expectations are the same as they were for the 100 meters.
And just to remind our viewers, you did say that you did suggest she's in the form of her life.
I just said she's in good shape.
No, I don't normally do conspiracy theories. That's not really my thing. But let's look back at this 100 meters in slow-mo, like the slowest of motion that I can possibly find on this edit. Price is out, as we expect her to be. Shericka Jackson has a terrible start. I think Natasha had a good one. Elaine is doing well. Brianna Williams probably actually had the best start of everyone in the field. Shericka does what she does best. She comes on in the last 40 to 50. Elaine is just not running the race we expect her to run. I think, although her form is still solid, closer to that finishing line, she starts to lean forward and she overextends. Now, if you look at that race, it could be one of two things. It could really be, as has been suggested, that she just ran just enough to get to the line to make it to defending her title. Or she just was not yet at that fitness level. Fraser Price, of course, wins in a time of 10.71. Elaine Thompson runs in 10.84, and in second place, Shericka Jackson runs 10.82. So I watched that race several times because I had just never ever thought of, was it a con? Because let's be honest, people, the psychological edge that Elaine Thompson and her camp would have gotten had we all been concentrating on Shelly and Fraser Price and basically just not thinking of her as a threat, when she knew all along and her team knew all along that she was really in the shape of her life, it would be tremendous. I keep saying on this channel that the psychology of running is as important as the physicality of running. I've never put it in that way, but that's primarily what I've been saying over and over again. The state of mind of the athlete is really important. Would Coach Stephen Francis really have done this though? Would he have said to her, Elaine, this is what we're going to do? At the national trials, just do enough to get through to the team, to make the team. I mean, it's not beyond a great coach to give the athlete that psychological edge. It could also be that he said, just run enough to get through the line. We know you're super fit, but you remember you have that Achilles heel thing that we're still working on. We don't want you to agitate it, because that's, to me, is more logical. Maybe he just said, just do enough to get through. You don't need to win. That's not relevant. What's relevant is the Olympics. Just give enough. Let's not push too hard, especially like in the 200 meters. So it could also be just that not just a psychological edge, but he was considering the health of her Achilles heel, which was, like a 5-year nightmare that she went through. So let's look at the 200 meters at the national trials earlier and see how she performs. Relatively even start. She's already doing really well. Fraser Price is up on her. Price is ahead. Shericka Jackson, we know, has a strength. But Elaine begins to reel her in. Again, she doesn't seem to be giving her all to me. She doesn't seem to be running like flat out. She's not... Look, people, Elaine Thompson and Shericka Fraser Price, they're highly competitive individuals. I mean, these people are used to winning. And she looked, even in the 100 meters, she looked very mechanical. I didn't see that fire, So, is there credence to this? I mean, she ran 22.02. I really want to know what you all think. What do you think, kings and queens? Do you think that this conspiracy theory is a possibility? That Coach Stephen Francis and Elaine Thompson said, you know what? I could probably win this easily. But Coach Francis, in my opinion, would have said, let's not push Achilles heel. Just get to the Olympics. Just run enough to get there. Make sure you're in the top 3 so you can defend. And that's why he was able to say a few weeks after, she's in the shape of her life. She's doing really, really great. And then that's why a few weeks out of the Olympics, she was able to shock everybody and run that 10.71. And she ran that pretty easily. Like I said, this is not something we normally do on this channel, but it's one of my subscribers who mentioned it to me, and it was just so fascinating. I said, you know what, this is a possibility. I mean, the coach is going to give the athlete any edge, and if you are in the form of your life, but you are allowing everyone to think it's the other person, you have a huge psychological advantage. It means that not until you really need to run do you actually need to run. And that's exactly what we saw Elaine Thompson Herah do. So is it possible, people? Is it possible that Elaine Thompson Herah and Coach Stephen Francis deceived all of us? Tricked us. I mean, what if Elaine Thompson Herah and Coach Stephen Francis fooled us all? Is this at all a possibility? I really want to hear your thoughts on this one. Is it possible that we were all fooled? Because, there are two things that I have to say, looking back at those races, and you all go look at the races yourself. She didn't look as if she was pushing. She looked quite easy. And then within a month, she was running these insane times. Within 1 month. I don't know. I really want to hear your thoughts on this one. Please, I really want to know what you think. Go ahead, please hit that subscribe button so we can continue to grow. We're very, very close to the 10,000 subs, and it's because of people like yourselves. When you subscribe, go in and hit the notification bell so you know when the next amazing video drops, and we do that once a day, every day here on Peter Lloyd World. Also, please, very important, hit the like button. There's no longer a dislike button on YouTube, so hit the like button. We need the engagement, and the algorithms absolutely love that. Hit the like button, and it's free. Leave a comment. I really want to hear your thoughts on this. Is there any merit to this theory? Any merit at all? Anyway, you are kings and you are queens. Try to believe in yourself. In fact, believe in yourselves. Avoid negative people and naysayers. Know your greatness. And you know, we always say here in Peter Light World, bless up, yeah.